Hello, my stamping friends. This is Oksana from funstamper.com, and here we again, Wednesday at 4 o'clock at Facebook Live. I'm actually thinking how to name it, and was considering Funky Wednesday. I used to do Funky Friday a long time ago. I'm not sure I like this name, so if you have any idea for the name for Wednesday, I wanted to do Wind Down Wednesday, but I'm actually trying not to drink on Wednesday, so we'll see. All right, I see some of you joining. I'll give 1 or 2 more minutes and we will start creating. Today we're gonna actually create really cool fold card, and it's gonna be a Christmas one. This is something that we did last class, my last class, and everybody loves that fold, and I wanted to recreate it using Christmas stuff. So let me point you down and we will get started. Don't get dizzy. Here you go. Point everything out, make sure it's straight. All right, let me know if you see me all right, if you hear me all right. It's funny, sometimes on my phone it's look different than later on when Facebook posts. Let me pull you so I could see the comments, and we will be creating. All right, I think I see everything. Great. All right, so last Saturday I had a class and we did this card. It's called Bay Window Fold. I found it online and I just adjust some measurements and decoration to my needs for that paper, and everybody absolutely loved that fold. It was pretty simple to make, especially after everything was scored. And what is cool is this card is folds flat and you could mail it, and it unfolds and it looks pretty cool as well. So I was thinking what to create and which Christmas stamp set to use. I'm kind of struggling with my Christmas little bit, and I had my demo meeting yesterday, and as I was preparing, I was using this deer set from new catalog, and I thought, oh my gosh, the paper is pretty. It was everything on my table. This is a bundle, and I said, okay, let's just create. So we're gonna use 2 new celebration items. What comes free with $50 order. One is a paper. It's called Bedazzling. I did get it. Before I was thought, okay, just glimmer paper, but actually it's so cool. It's really like your disco ball. Hopefully you could see how it look like. And I like this one because little strip goes such a long way. You can do so much with that. And another one, as you could see, it's featured, and I started to pay attention a little bit more to the bundle and paper, matching paper. So this paper you could get for free. It's called Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. And let me tell you that picture never do it justice. So it's always much more prettier in person than in a catalog. And as I started to work with that paper, it's just so much fun. It's just so versatile, different prints. And what I like, it's traditional prints. So it's really easy to create with if you kind of like the traditional colors. It's garden green, real red, Sahara sand, so all kind of traditional colors. All right, so let's get started. Let me kind of explain you what we're gonna do. So that card, initially when I created it, was using designer series paper. So I'll show you how to use designer paper, but also for this purpose, I also wanted to kind of create my own background, right? Because not always designer paper may be a pattern that you want to put. So let's get started, and I will kind of show you measurements with a designer paper. So what you will need to do, and the card is actually your standard size card, so technically it's supposed to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but it's really tiny panel, so you don't see a lot of cardstock. And It's actually, then you will need to have designer paper 4¼ and I don't like that type of measurements to waste a lot of paper. So what I did, I adjust my card base to be 4⅛. So it's tinier smaller, like here smaller, and still by 11. And then we will do a bunch of scoring. So let's start with the cardstock, and I will start with real red. I'll have my measurements. It's a lot of scored lines. Actually, if you do many of those, you could do it pretty quickly, as you remember. So we will have 4⅛ by, yes, by 11. So we're gonna score it at 3/8, so really tiny small piece. Then we will score at 1/7/8, and those measurements are gonna be posted for you, so you don't need to write them down. 3/5/8, 5/1/8, and 5½. So that's all of the scoring. Now we're gonna kind of fold them. See, it's 2 tiny pieces. You're just gonna crease the edges, and this one need to go outside. Probably need to get my bond folder. So this is how it look like. Now designer paper, you will need to start, the easiest way is to start with 4 inches by 6-inch piece. And it's kind of important the way you're gonna cut, because you want it to, your pattern carry along. Unless you kind of have a different, you know, like uniform pattern, but you probably want it to kind of carry along so look like a window. So what we're gonna do for this piece of paper, it measures 4×6, and we will need to do couple cuts. So we will start with the first cut, gonna be 1 3/8. Kind of put it here. Second one will be 1 5/8. This piece gonna be 1 3/8 again. It's 2 the same panels. And whatever left will be 1 5/8. So we could check. Yep. All right. And you will also need for this card, so kind of keep them in a row, because this is how we're gonna glue. We're actually gonna glue it like this, and other side we wanna flip. It has a nice pattern to match. And we will need piece of paper, whisper white for inside, measure 4×3¼ and 2 tiny pieces. Could be DSP or could be something else. I chose to go with this bedazzle paper, and it's 1/4 inch by 4. So let's start gluing everything together. That little cutter, Sherry, is the best. I love that cutter for smaller pieces and kind of have it handy. So we're gonna adhere. So let's start with this little tiny strip. Let me scooch it over. So if you have a lot of designer paper laying around, this card is a good one. And again, it's using 4×6. So if you have 12×12, you could make 6 cards on 1 sheet of paper. That's pretty good. So we're gonna glue that little tiny piece here. Then, as keeping the order, we're gonna glue this piece here. Next. And keep going. Another one. And our tiny shiny piece as well. I'm gonna be here. I think that little glimmer goes such a long way, such a pretty one. So for inside, before we're gonna start gluing inside, see this little tiny spine? We're actually gonna close it shut. Otherwise it's not gonna fold properly. So before you're gonna start gluing anything, you could use wet glue and kind of hold it for a little bit. I'm gonna use tear tape. You just use adhesive of your choice. Then kind of give it a nice push. We're gonna glue this white piece. You could stamp on it or decorate, and then this one gonna go here. And here we have the fold. So that's all. It's look complicated when it stays, or it's, you know, but it's really kind of easy after you have everything cut, and it just almost like your standard card. It doesn't use more cardstock or more supplies. Probably could be used with any floral, designer paper, pattern one. So here's your fold, look at that. And you have two choices, and I did two different things for this. See, you could actually use greeting kind of in the front and have your little stopper on the side. And stopper could be some decoration, flowers, images, and things like that. Because I'm using deer, it's deer a little bit bigger in that stamp set, so I need something kind of smaller and longer. So I actually decided to use go different direction. I use greeting here as a stopper, and you know, decorated the front. We're gonna decorate this one a lot with other cards. So let's just put it aside for a second. And other one, if you don't want to use designer paper, you could actually pre-stamp your panels. So I'm taking a piece of paper. So remember, our designer paper was 4 by 6. So now I'm taking a piece of paper, this one is still gonna go 1/5/8, and I'm taking a piece of paper 4 and 4 3/4. You could actually make it longer and then cut what you need. I wanted to create that beautiful kind of scenery image with that stamp set. So I'm gonna take the stamp set, I'm gonna take two greenery images, and I'm gonna stamp with that. What is also cool, I didn't realize, the same when you look in a book, you don't really realize how this stamp set, how well it actually stamps, and also that you could do really quickly two-step stamping without re-inking. So just ink it well, and again, it's photopolymer, so you need to make sure you press it kind of harder. So I will start from the center. So I'm gonna stamp, and without re-inking, stamp down. Look at that, it's just such a nice crisp image without a lot of effort. So, and I will do the same with this one here, and I'm gonna fill everything with my tiny stamp set. So I'm gonna stamp here, ink on top. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create my scenery here. And here. So again, random stamping, no measurement requires. If I wanted to kind of go over a little bit higher, I'm gonna stamp here. I wanted something on top. So here's our forest. Now we're gonna do the same as we did for previous card, and we're gonna be stamping and gluing. So let me cut this one first. So I will cut 1 3/8 from the left side. 1 3/8. 1 5/8. And I will be hopefully left was 1 3/8 if I did my measurements right. If not, you could just cut excess. Okay. And I chose to use this piece of designer paper, and it's 1/5/8. Again, I have the same pieces as before. I'm gonna put it here. And I'm gonna score Sahara Sand this time and use the same measurements. 1 3/8. I'm gonna do 1 7/8, 3 5/8, 5 1/8, and 5 1/2. Again, I will post after video, after I finish my Facebook, I will post in this one, and it's gonna be posted online as well. All right, so as you could see, you could use designer paper, or you could create your own scene. And I'm thinking, especially for Christmas, when we kind of using some of the stamp sets, some background stamp looks so cool, it's really easy to do. All right, let's just glue everything together. So those tiny pieces, 1/4 strips gonna go. And remember, for that bay fold, the only trick is you make sure that you keep your designer paper or that stamped image after you cut, you kind of keep them aligned. So you make sure you glue them properly. I wonder how it's gonna look with that particular paper and doing the same layout as this card, but just using different paper, and it will be different decoration. So it's cool how it's always look different with different stamp set. Let me know what you think, if you like that type of fold, something that you would like to try. Please leave me a comment. If you like what you see, please like my Facebook page. I'm doing lives every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And I absolutely love kind of funky folds or boxes or something like that, but it should be easy. It should not be complicated like ours to do. So we glue our scene like that. And as on previous card, we wanted to close the spine. So we'll just close the spine, and we're gonna glue the rest. And then we're just gonna decorate with those deers and sentiments, and we will have our 2 cards done. Right. We're gonna glue our white piece inside. And our designer paper. I think it adds so much if you have some designer paper on that side. Great. So we will create a stopper for both cards, and I will choose to use the sentiment to do a stopper. Let me find my scrap piece of paper, and we will use, let's use for both, there's 2 sentiments that should fit. Wishing you a wonderful year and friendships dears. Sending love and peace this season. So I want a kind of something circular. So let's just stamp both. So let's just do it in red. How about that? Now we'll do 2. And we will use, for purpose of the video, we're gonna use our punch to punch it. Unfortunately, punches are no longer available, but you could use your circle dies and you could pre-cut and stamp if you wish. So whatever tools you have, I'm gonna use this one and this one. And let me see which circles I want. I'll do one so here a sand to match, and another one. I think green will look good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and glue our things together and create our little stopper. Here you go. And any sentiment could do, or you could probably, if you have other die and you have a little tree die cut, and you could put it here. So I'm gonna use this one as a stopper, and you will need to have your dimensionals. So we assemble in two cards. One is with designer paper, and another one is with pre-stamped. One of big dimensionals. Okay, 2 dimensionals should be plenty. I'm gonna do those. And I'm gonna mount it here in the center, and this is gonna tackle like this. It's cute. Look at that. And this one as well, I'm gonna mount it kind of in the middle and tackle it in. All right, and now we will do some decoration, and we will have our 2 cards. So let's stamp our deer. This deer is so cute. This is has words inside, kind of like a hidden message. We were all yesterday during our team get together. We were excited to stamp the deer because, again, it doesn't really look that cool in a catalog, but when you stamp and you see that hidden message and how well it stamps, it's pretty cool. All right, and we will have our punch. You line the punch. Those punches also punches those cute antlers. And we could make them with glimmer paper or brown paper, or just stamp them. All right, so let's just look at this one, and we'll just mount him here, or her. I don't know if it's boy or a girl. That bedazzling paper, if you consider to have it, I really strongly suggest to pick it as your first pick in your next order. I do have a feeling it's gonna sell out. They normally, those type of specialty paper, when it's free, normally sell out pretty quick. And Stampin' Up! Warned us that they are as supplies last. And we're gonna do the same. Let's see. I like him. So we're gonna do the same with that one, and we will tie a bow, put a couple rhinestones, and you have a fun fold card. Even so, it looks complicated, and it's really quickly to make, and it stands really, really nicely on a table. And I have this deer, so it's gonna be like 2 deers running around. Maybe I go ahead and punch the antlers as well. So as antlers, there is left and right antler. And I wanted to do it for that other one. I will leave this one alone. Always try overthink and get too much. Sometimes forget how simple could be beautiful. So we're gonna glue some antlers with this guy, tie a bow, and we'll be all finished up. So let me know what you think about this fold. Did you ever try this? Did you saw it before? I saw it online. I don't remember who lady is. I will need to find out and give her credit. It's just this fold, but she was using pansy designer paper, and I thought it's really cool fold, and it's not overly complicated. So, and we're gonna take some of the new really cool ribbon. So this is gingham ribbon, such a cool one. It just kind of really tiny. It's like 1/4 of the inch. Ties beautifully. It's not bulky, and it's look really cool. Even so, it has a black one. Again, this one is also have those gingham little deers. So we're gonna make this bow, and we're gonna make another bow. There's 2 ribbons that I'm currently using, and on all my projects I'm deeply in love with those. And this one is glittered organdy ribbon. I think it's with a cabin suite. It has kind of almost like a little pinkish dots. It's also pretty. Just has a little bit of sparkle, but nothing over top. And we don't really want too much sparkle, I guess. We already add a lot. So here, I'll make that bow. Keep my table nice and neat. And we will take glue dot and put it underneath. And gonna do the same with this one. And to add a little bit more for this card, because we have trees, and again, we could probably use Wink of Stella, but I found another, possibly my favorite accessories. Let me close it. So I just wanted to add a little bit something to big tree. I found another one, and of course I didn't bring my U-Pick tool, but this is those little sequins. It also comes in a cabin suite. It's called Subtle Shimmer Sequence. It's gazillion of them. And I do like the accessories like this when you need to glue it. Again, you just put a little bit of glue, and it's so easy to add little kind of sparkle. And some people don't like sprinkles like that. Should have brought my tool, but no. It's upstairs. I'm crafting right now in my living room. My husband left for business trip, and I'm occupied our dining table. So this one was not in my box to bring down. And you just randomly add for little bling. All right, here is a card number 1 we created with stamping the background. And here is a card number 2 we created when we use designer paper. So here are the old cards that I created before. And where's my another one? Here it is. So let me know which one is your favorite. See, this is that designer paper. We use all different pieces of designer paper, all different patterns, and they're so cool and so Christmassy. So I hope you like that one. And if we have time, I think we have a couple minutes, I will show you quickly how to create the box, and I will decorate it later. So as a piece, and the same, it's using designer paper and the same set. This is a little box, a little favor that could hold like miniature liquor. I already have a bow, so it's not gonna go down. So this is a little bow, and because we're using designer paper, this is something that I design as well for us to do. So for that favor box, you will need to have following supplies. You will need to have a strip of a cardstock, measure 1 3/4 by 11, and you will need to have pieces of DSP to match. And we will need to do some scoring. So first we're gonna score on 11-inch side, and we're gonna score at ½ inch, 2 inches, 4 3/4, and 6 1/4. This one could hold, you could probably even adjust and make it wider, do the same scoring, like hand cream, something kind of even bigger bottle. But this is the idea behind. So basically you glue it like this, you poke a hole, and you have it. So let's glue designer series paper. So we're using the designer papers that match the card with a deer. So this one is little shy of 4 3/4. And I like when it's really tiny, small border. So the width of every single piece is 1 5/8. So this is 1 3/4, this is 1/8 smaller. And I'm gonna put designer paper here and here. So it's exactly as those pieces, just 1/8 smaller on each side. And here is another one. There you go. So before we're gonna glue everything together, we're gonna take a small punch. I chose 1 inch, could be go to up to 1 1/4. And on this piece, I'm gonna try my best to punch it in the center. To glue it, we're gonna put a tear tape or wet glue, and I'm gonna put it shut. So you want it to do like so. Close it kind of so all designer paper visible. Close it, and you have straight box. And then if you wanted to have, probably need to go and shop for some little booths. Here fits really nicely. If you wanted to stay, I would suggest to put like a glue dot or dimensional in the back, and then you just decorate. So let me know what you think. Here is one that I already decorated with the pieces. I put some deer and a sentiment, and here's the cards we created. So hope you like it. Please share my video, leave a comment. Let me know which funky fold you would like to create next. And until next time, happy stamping. Bye.